So, yeah, I hope he comes back soon. He's kind of been out for water for a while.
I did it, guys!
Yo!
I found us water!
Water!
It's purified.
This is clean water. Hey, listen, you know, when somebody hands you clean water, you drink it all, even if you're not thirsty. Now you have to do it for the memes. Don't stop. You better keep going. Chug, chug, chug,
Don't
chug,
waste
chug.
water.
I still need some.
Don't waste it.
You wasted a drop! Welcome back, guys, to RK Unlocking the Realm with episode 2 of Fallout. I'm Vasquez.
I'm Fight.
Panda.
I'm Squid.
And as you saw before, we're not wasting any time here, just like we don't waste water. So let's jump straight into it. Who wants to start?
So we started off episode 2 with why am I forgetting his name right now?
Maximus, the ghoul.
Was it that?
Lucy.
Or was
Lucy.
it the doctor?
Oh,
Doctor
we
Aya.
do start with the doctor, but that's because they didn't give him a name card like they gave
Yeah.
everybody else.
But he's not a main character.
I wanted more name cards. I got addicted to them.
I actually think we get his name very, subtly, too. I don't think anybody actually comes out and says his name. It's a very subtle, just kind of call to his name. But I don't remember it, to be completely honest.
It starts with a W.
Wilbur.
No, it's a weird name.
It is. It's like Wilkinson or
Witwicky?
Wiz,
Witwicky.
Yeah.
Wiz, I don't remember his name.
Whistler.
It's Whistler.
No, I mean, it's something
It's
weird.
It
like
is something
that.
weird like that, though.
Whistler or something.
Whittler.
He has a G in it.
No.
I wrote it down because I just called him the doctor, and then I was like, I don't know.
Wilzig.
Wilzig.
Well, I knew it was
Wilzig.
Will something.
I was close.
Wilzig.
That was actually closer than I thought it was.
Yeah, Wilson was pretty close to Wilzig.
So yeah, we start out Wilzig with weighing the puppy, and evidently the puppies that don't weigh enough, they kind of go back into Mother Nature.
Oh, that was brutal.
Set
start with.
fire
To the world.
to the pups. Watch 'em burn.
But I have a very big problem with the puppy.
Go on.
It's a Belgian Malinois.
Well, actually.
Well, actually, no. All right, so it's a Belgian Malinois, which luckily they call it CX404. So maybe dog meat wasn't found. Sorry to steal your joke.
No, that's fine.
Definitely was the one that came up with the joke earlier. It was great. I didn't realize the number, to be completely honest. Didn't pay attention to it.
We'll just go with 404 not found. That way it doesn't upset you, right?
Yeah. Well, it also makes sense too that the weight is probably why it was called 404 because in a computer system it's not found, so the puppy's not found in the system for the weight.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause
Kind
it's
of an issue
underweight.
there.
Yeah. Just a little callback to some Fallout humor, I guess, that not many people probably caught on to.
Did anyone catch how much the puppy actually weighed?
I think it was 9.6 ounces. It was right below it, if I remember right.
Okay, because I thought he was under, but it went by so fast. I was like, I'm pretty sure he just saved that dog, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, no, it was definitely under, but I think that it had to be 10 ounces, and I think the puppy was 9 ounces. 9.6 ounces, right under. But, yeah. Also, another problem, Belgian Malinois, too. That thing would not have been okay with how it was trapped in a
In a wall.
wall. These dogs need a lot of running and energy and playtime, and
You got him a treadmill.
yeah, that kind of helped, I guess.
Yeah.
Had his teddy bear. Got
Yeah.
him a teddy bear.
And then he hung the teddy bear.
I was a little confused because so he saves it as a puppy, but he doesn't take it and hide it as a puppy. It was you saw it grown there.
Mm-hmm.
So where did everybody else think that dog went?
I think they grow such a rapid rate after that first week or two. It probably just was able to blend in with the other ones or whatever they do with the other puppies.
Okay, yeah, because I was so they had a tag for him and everything to bring back his name again, and then he just walks out with him, and he's like, he lives in my quarters now. Like, this is where he will never go. And it's like, what do all the other scientists think happened to that dog?
I mean, if it's 404, the system doesn't pick it up.
Dog not found.
It's just a dog there. Not a very good system, I don't think.
No. They were writing down a lot of stuff.
And also, like, what kind of institution was this? Because this wasn't a vault doing these experiments either. It was definitely experimentation.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the institution we're, like, used to.
Yeah, no.
We know the Brotherhood is looking for the scientist, so maybe it's...
Well, a lot of people were looking for the scientist. He had a big bounty on his head.
Yeah.
Apparently from everyone has put a bounty on this guy.
Yeah. For some reason. Like,
For science.
For science, yeah. I would assume it's whatever he stuck in his neck, because he injected himself in the neck with something.
Yeah, I thought that chip was going to go for the dog. I did not think that the chip was for him.
I really thought it was for the dog. I was about to start crying, not gonna lie. I'm like, not the doggy, please. Anything but the dog.
I'm always a sucker for anything that happens to dogs in games, in shows, games, everything, etc. I love dogs.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
but then we jump from that small little cutout, maybe it'd been 5 minutes, I think it was 10 minutes at most of the episode, and then we go back to Lucy actually leaving the vault and being out on her own.
Wandering through the wasteland,
Talking to strangers.
offering them water.
Yeah.
All of the water.
Yeah, you can have a
Bing.
sip, and then, he ends up chugging the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. And I think we get our first actual look, too, at what happened in the Fallout. 'Cause she comes up to that house that's just riddled with sand, and she sees the family at the dinner table, and she picks up that bottle of poison,
Yeah.
which was kind of interesting. So I guess they drank the poison as the bombs were dropping.
A humane killer.
Yeah. You throw a little tea party for the kids, and you just...
Everybody
They don't
was
need to
sick.
know.
The forbidden tea party.
Yeah.
Leave a little bit of the dog, a little bit for the pets inside their water bowl.
What a way to go. Oof.
By choice too.
Yeah. But it also brings back to, like, people definitely survived on the surface.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, they might not have necessarily died.
Yeah, I think it was more of a they didn't want to live in that world and didn't want their kid to have to live in that world. Because you know what's coming after something like that, how much the world is going to change.
Yeah.
And some people aren't cut out for it and probably didn't want their daughter to have to deal with that either.
Very
So.
true.
Oh,
Listen,
look, I have an extra limb.
Yeah.
I've got my Fallout plan. Have y'all seen the big, like, compound? It's the data storage facility off of 215. I
Switch?
forget what it's called. Yeah, Switch. I'm going there. You see those walls? Those are some good thick walls to hide in.
It's fair.
They got some spikes on top too.
Yeah, they are well protected. I've got bows, I got arrows, I got guns, and I got bullets. I'm good.
I got my dog.
And I got my dog. I actually have a dog meat.
We have 2 elderly cats. Like that'll help.
Keeps the rats away. And
Yeah.
the insects.
I don't think they
Snakes?
do.
Well, unless it becomes a rad roach, then they're just gonna eat them.
Rad cats?
I don't know. German Shepherd take care of those.
Yeah,
German Shepherds or the other
The
ones?
Malinois.
We don't talk about Malinois. 404 cannot be found in this episode. Sorry. We have the actual dog.
Flashes on screen.
I love my dog. I can put her up. I'll find a picture to put up here somewhere.
Oh, I was just gonna say error 404,
But yeah,
and then that's the episode.
that is it. That's all anybody's watching this for is the dog. It cannot be found. But we also, I think you mentioned this. You said you wanted to see more greenery.
Oh, so much more in this episode. I was taking notes, and one of them was just, it's so green. Everything is alive in this universe. I don't know if it's because filming locations, it was easier to have it, or if this is farther down the road. But we got full forests.
It's probably farther north. If I know California a little bit, I think Northern California is a lot of wooded area.
Yeah.
It's a whole forest.
Dude,
Right.
if we could go up to the redwoods in a Fallout game, that would be sick.
I'm down.
That'd be beautiful.
Go to the petrified forest. Where's that? I think Washington, maybe. I'm not sure.
I've heard of it, but I couldn't place it.
I think it's Washington, Oregon, somewhere northwest. possible. I mean, so something else I want to bring up too, because I know we kind of get off tracks. Have you noticed that Bethesda has never touched West Coast? Everything that's been done on the West Coast has been anybody but Bethesda. So Black Owls, no, is it Black Owl Studios? Were the original creators? Or does it start with-
Yes, I think that's the name of them.
So the original developers did West Coast. They did basically the same place the show takes place, is where games 1, 2, and Brotherhood take place, which Brotherhood isn't canon, so just 1 and 2. We actually see Shady Sands in games 1 and I believe 2. Which brings up, we're getting a second season, and we're going to be in New Vegas or
Yes.
West Coast. I know people have already said it's New Vegas. I'm sorry if I ruined it for y'all, but
No, it makes sense. It's the next biggest area for them to
Yeah.
I
put
think,
cool stuff in.
well, I think they've announced that's where it was going to be too, if I'm not mistaken online, if you haven't avoided spoilers. Or we could see, like, there's other locations where we're at, so we could see, like, maybe further in the season, Necropolis. Do y'all know what Necropolis is?
We talked about it some last time.
Yeah.
So Necropolis, actually, when I talked about last time, was in Fallout 3, but there is a Necropolis on the West Coast. I think it's called Necropolis in Game 1. Correct me if I'm wrong, people. So it is a city for ghouls, specifically ghouls, which is interesting to see because they have a ghoul. They look cool.
Yeah.
It's definitely a different take than the games.
Yeah. They're still definitely not welcomed everywhere.
Yeah, no, especially Philly.
Yeah.
It's very much harped on. I don't know. I think I'm kind of on the same. There wasn't much to talk about this episode. It was kind of straightforward.
Yeah.
I was surprised by how quickly everyone kind of met up in the same spot. I thought we'd get a lot more like jumps between characters and where they were before we finally got a meetup.
That'd be a few episodes at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be something like Witcher, where maybe the first season it all came to the end with everybody getting together.
Yeah.
But it was kind of nice that everybody kind of came together in the beginning, so we don't have to like time skip and try to figure out where we are in the story and all that confusion, because that can get confusing. But also, I do like that not everybody's getting along. So even though we have all the characters together, they are very much still their own things. It's just not D&D like everybody's a happy teammate now.
Yeah.
I need him. No, I need him. But kind of past Lucy's story, we go back to Maximus and his Brotherhood story. Meet up in the cave. We finally see our first Yaogwai.
The first, minus rat roaches, first actually mutated creature
Yeah.
of some kind of danger level. Like rat roaches, I don't really consider them dangerous.
No.
I liked the back lore they gave us on rad roaches in this episode though. When one showed up, they were just like, by the way, we're gonna completely explain why they exist for you. But also don't just sleep out in the open. Just sleep out with literally no covering.
With a fire too.
Well, they said no light was the thing. Never have
Yeah.
a lit fire at night because it attracts the rad roaches. And then it also went into the backstory of, what would happen to roaches if a nuclear fallout happens? Well, now we know the outcome. You get a rad roach, which are now larger, are willing to kill humans, so they will eat anything and everything now.
Have larger incisors to help with
To
hunting
and flesh eating, yeah.
Armored thoraxes.
for defense, yeah. And generally just bigger. Oh, and they have larger receptors or whatever, so they can communicate.
Yeah, they hunt in packs.
Apparently so, but we always see them by themselves.
Or like 2 or 3 at a time.
I would 100% die to rat roaches in this universe.
I'll take a baseball bat. Oh yeah, home run.
I hate stepping on a cockroach and just getting the smush and like the leftover on your shoe and
Well, no,
everything.
it's
like,
the crunch and
Yeah.
the smush.
Yeah.
That's like,
No,
and then
I can't do the
you
crunch.
amplify that by 10 for a rat roach.
Well, you have video of me somewhere trying to kill a regular cockroach, okay? And I almost died to that one, so I think Rad Roach has me taken out.
no, I don't think I would actually survive in a wasteland. Like I'm such a like gentle person. Like even I had a black widow in the house the other day, and we found a way to keep the Black Widow alive and just put it outside. And I'm like,
I let one live in our house. Well, our garage once. There were clear boundaries. She could live in the garage. She could not come to the house or she would die.
See, I'm the type of person to grab a bottle of hairspray and a lighter
flamethrower.
and just have fun.
Yeah, no. I've not, I've lived out in Vegas for 2 years now. Have not run into a scorpion yet.
Oh, really?
Somehow,
I finally did last year, but I've been here for 30 years and it took that long for me to be able to find a...
You should walk around with a black light.
They're always at my parents' house too. Like there'd be 2 or 3 in the pool every morning.
Just go get stung by one in one of the hotels too.
Yeah.
That just happened not too long ago.
Oh.
Were you around any palm trees?
Nope.
That's probably...
Oh, actually, no, yeah. We have a lot of palm trees.
Don't-
in the neighborhood.
Don't touch the palm trees at night.
They go in the.
That's where they live.
Don't plan on it. It's good
So
to know.
take a black light and just flash it around.
Good to know. Good to know.
They do glow in the dark.
I'm just worried for my animals more so than myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a glowing scorpion.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Wow.
Calling it back to the show. All right. We have a bad tendency of going
Off track. No, most definitely. So yeah, we see the Yao Guai. I mean, CGI on that, by the way, was phenomenal.
Which CGI on that is great. And I was watching it back, and I'm like, the CGI of the armor, now watching it for a second time,
Was kind of stiff.
yeah, not as good as I was. Because now I'm watching Halo again, too.
Mhm.
And, like, the Halo CGI is phenomenal for, like, the Spartan armor. And I'm almost like, if it looked more like that, like, realistically, it would probably look better. But I also like how it looks. It's just when it's moving around, it kind of takes me out.
Because what I've noticed is whenever it needs like more advanced motion and they're using CGI, instead of keeping the armor dark, they lighten it. So it's a noticeable scene change where it's not consistent, and it ticks me off. It doesn't kind of tick me off. It ticks me off.
I was fine with it being kind of stiff and stuff. I didn't notice too much like in most of the scenes, but there's a scene where he's flying around and he's kind of out of control, and it looked that's the part that took me out. I was like, oh, this looks. You literally just took the picture and drug it around the screen. So I'm
At least he didn't
okay.
end up T-posing everywhere.
Yeah, it's true. They could have used Unreal Engine 5 and probably gotten better effects. Just saying.
It
Come
would
on,
be great
Amazon.
if he was T-posing it just because he doesn't know how to use it.
That would have been funny.
I would actually.
I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
Interesting noise. I don't know. Somebody's calling on the Pip-Boy, evidently. But yeah, I think some of the CGI, I know complaints about the show have been CGI. And like, yeah, I can see it sometimes with like that, but at the same time, there's other things that look really, really cool, like the ghoul.
Yeah.
Like they got his aesthetic down great.
Oh yeah,
It's
the ghoul is
fantastic.
just to a T what you would expect a ghoul to look like during a wasteland.
Really happy with
The goal is what we got excited for the show.
that. Very true. I need to know how he became this, because we've gotten some more of his backstory, and he seemed like a really nice guy. I want to know why he's an asshole now.
They'll make a spin-off.
Like, probably-
If this does well enough, they'll do a spin-off show on the ghoul.
That'd be kind of cool, actually.
I would watch it.
I'm down.
People want it.
But I think that kind of harkens back to, I've already forgotten his name again, but the scientist, when he's talking to Lucy, he talks about you're going to have to adapt. So, I mean, the ghoul's been out here long enough. He adapted. And then he also has the line of, once you adapt, are you still going to want, like, are your goals still going to be your goals, basically?
Are your morals your morals?
Yeah. So, I mean, he's been out here so long.
Very true.
I mean, the ghoul has seen it all. I mean, he's been out there 215 years. Surviving, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
tells you a lot.
Somehow. Don't know how, but yeah.
He was buried, but
for a few of those years, he
But
had a
he
great
still had an IV drip.
yeah.
Yeah. And, from later on, they do explain what that IV drip is. So, I want to get y'all's opinion later on when y'all figure that out.
We had a little vial this time that seemed to have like the same kind of stuff in
It
it.
is.
His
Okay.
inhaler.
It is very much the same substance, and there is a point to it. So it's good that y'all caught on that. Something else I want to... I don't even think you've gotten to this point yet, But there's something that happens in later episodes that irritates me now that I see him in episode 2 fighting Maximus in the armor. So when we get there, we'll talk about that.
I think I know what you're talking about.
But it like breaks the whole like episode 2 of the whole fight scene being like just completely overdone and useless. And I hate. Go ahead.
I noticed he was shooting way more than 5 bullets from his revolver. And then he empties his revolver with 5 shells. I was like, wait, you just shot like 20 times. Is that what you're talking about?
No, there's something else.
Okay, because that didn't make sense to
I actually
me.
think they mentioned that in the games there was a weak point in the armors.
Yeah.
So it is very common knowledge from people in pre-war that these armors have weak points. And he's not trying to like... I actually think we see him utilize one of the weak points, which was kind of nice. But there is a very critical weak point that he knows about that just does not use it. But then later on in the series, he uses it over and over again. And I'm like, just ruined.
You waited.
He even said, too, he was just like, read the manual. So you know he knows about these. And these were the ones used in the war beforehand, and we know he was in the war.
Once again, been around for 200 plus years. So
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of ruins that whole fight scene now, doesn't it?
Yep. But, to the fight scene, because that's pretty much where we're at now. Yeah, I mean, we see him target the neck, one of the weak points.
Mm-hmm.
That's what sends Maximus, all willy-nilly.
Yeah, the hydraulics.
And that's
So what he does, for people that don't know, he cut the hydraulic line that actually helps the suit balance and stay in function. So that's the line he cut, which causes Maximus to like tilt to one side. So he's kind of lost mobility on one side of the armor. So he's trying to overcompensate now by using the other side to balance it back out, and that's why it's just wonky. The fight scene.
What gun was he using? Because I know it has to have been a reference, but I was like, I don't know what gun this is.
I don't think it's a reference for anything I remember in game.
I really don't know, but it was a cool gun. Clearly had penetration and explosive style rounds. Pretty gory for when it did hit people. I mean, we instantly see a whole shin get blown off.
Yeah.
That was great.
That wasn't as bad as
It's
the
not
new
even-
foot, though.
Oh, the new foot was...
Hearing those noises, I was...
I didn't like that.
Also, they didn't give him a stem back or anything.
Yeah, he just
Yeah, you could have just tried something at least, maybe.
just raw dogged the.
Oh.
Something. Oof, yeah. Which, I mean, we don't know either. It may have a sedative on those blades. Probably not enough to...
No,
Didn't
doubt it.
seem
With
like
how
it.
much screaming he was doing.
He took it like a champ, though.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it was for the greater good.
Yeah. Yeah, it was... I have to look away for those scenes. I have a weak stomach, I'm not going to lie. Scenes like that where it's just gore, 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 I can't do. I don't like it.
I just don't want to do it.
I grew up watching Saw, so kind of used to it.
Yeah. Not a fan of Saw at all.
I
It's
don't...
just ketchup packets. It's fine.
No. Fun fact, does anybody know what the first actual use of red blood on a screen was?
Jaws.
Dracula.
It would have had to be something that was just getting to color. Like, so was it around that time frame?
It was Dracula.
Was it Dracula?
Yeah.
Do you know which one it was?
Nope.
It was 1955's Hammer horror films starring Christopher Lee and Bela Lugosi. Bela Lugosi as Dracula and Christopher Lee as Van Helsing. Yep, fun fact, it's the first time they used red blood on a TV screen.
Well, that was a quick history lesson.
The more you know.
Yep.
I have so many more questions. I'm going to look into this more when I get home because I want to know if it was the first time they used red blood or if the first time blood was in color. Did we have like green blood on screen in color before that? No, okay.
That was the first time blood was red on screen.
That's
History
cool.
here.
Because the first colored movie was Wizard of Oz in 1939. So, I mean, they went from 1939, which is full color, to 1950s before they did red blood. I think it was just kind of like a taboo thing that
Makes
didn't do.
sense.
Yeah. I mean, you watch some of the horror movies from back then, and it was like people were running out of the theater for like House on Haunted Hill, and you look at it and you're like, what is it? Like, it's
Or like,
it's crazy where we are now.
What's Psycho?
Yeah, Psycho was considered horrifying, and it's
It's really not. Like, it's creepy.
Yeah.
It's got dark tones.
Suspense.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely. I think today's standards would be more suspense than horror.
yeah.
Because I think they definitely line the two. Which, Fallout, what do you think it would be considered? Genre-wise? It's a good question, isn't it?
It is. I think it falls under action, really.
Yeah.
There's some suspense. Like even the first 2 episodes, like there's quite a few scenes of suspense.
Gore.
I think it could really fit in a lot of things.
Maturity.
Yeah, I don't feel
Especially
like
after episode 1.
Coming of age story. I mean, if you want to be technical.
Lucy
mean-
got proposed to again.
She did.
2 for 2.
We can have a family
It's
while he's wearing an adult diaper. Because
Yeah.
remember, he said, yeah, my family went out there and never came back.
To Philly.
You want to start a family with me?
yeah.
Yeah, his whole family went to Philly and died, evidently. His aunt, uncle, mom, dad.
She died there once. His aunt died there once. Oh.
Shoot your shot, I guess.
He's trying to make water out of sand, so
Hey, it was a water purifier.
I'll put sand in the water purifier, but I keep on getting more sand. Well, have you tried putting water? You're right, man.
Maybe it purifies the water you already have. I don't know. I like the little dry humor because they definitely keep Fallout humor into it,
yeah.
but they go way out of left field sometimes. Like,
They really play like an NPC.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's very much an NPC guy. I think. I don't get the whole.
Here's your side
interaction.
quest.
Yeah, I don't get that whole interaction. Like, that was just useless times on screen.
It was a long interaction for the little bit of info we did get from it.
Yeah.
It was very Fallout though.
It really was, because he always gets sidetracked with all the side conversations with everyone, all the side story missions.
Plus, it could have been used for her learning not to trust people.
I think that's
'Cause-
when she learned, because
yeah.
of the water.
Like, here, take a sip, but then she's like, oh, okay.
He gave back her bottle though. That was nice.
And then he thanked her for not shooting him.
Yeah.
He wasn't an
that is true.
asshole. He
Yeah,
was
he
just
was nice.
surviving.
I think he's just an idiot, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really think about it, he's in an adult diaper. Clearly his family left when he was young. He hasn't learned to use an actual proper toilet or dig a hole.
Yeah, very much outhouse probably is where they would be at this point.
But you did see he was trying to grow,
Tomatoes?
it looked like tomatoes.
Tato? What do they call them? Tatoes?
Oh, there. Yeah.
I think that's what they're called in Fallout Universe.
We saw a Brahmin.
We did see a Brahmin.
Yeah.
Did we?
Very, very healthy looking
Oh,
Brahmin.
he did? That's right, yes.
That's, yeah, I know we mentioned that in last episode. Like, it didn't have any patches on it.
Yeah, it was very healthy.
Just a normal looking cow with 2 heads,
He was fine.
which I think happens in the real world every once in a while, to be completely honest. Radiation didn't play much of an effect on that one. It has pure bloodlines.
Pure. It's the champion blood.
Champion blood Brahmin showing.
How funny would it be if she sees cows later and they're just all normal and she was like, but didn't they have 2 heads? And we're like, what? No. Why would they have 2
The
heads?
2 heads
You
was
saw a
never
two-headed
canon,
cow?
okay? The Brahmin was never canon.
Yeah. I'm still super excited because we saw the one fish creature.
Oh, in the...
Was that in this episode?
No, it wasn't in the episode. You just see it in like the pre-show or whatever it shows.
Oh,
it,
what's
like,
to come? Yes.
Super excited to get to that.
That'll be a great conversation.
I think a lot happens in Philly that we kind of like gloss over.
Yeah, I mean, the whole fight scene, first of all, you know, seeing all the shops, you know, it gave me Fallout 4 vibes with the ballpark.
Yeah.
Like, easily. The way that the layout was, it felt like the shops inside the ballpark. So I thought that was a little cool throw in there. I mean, humor-wise, Maximus using the power armor gets his foot stuck. Like,
Yeah.
clearly you should have noticed that those were just planks and it's a weak spot, which cost him.
Yeah, I mean, but that also shows like I think really the power armor is not like this all powerful equipment that you can just put on and be invincible, which is kind of nice.
Well, I
To
see
an
in the first
extent.
episode too, like you have to be trained to use it. He just put it on, and he wasn't trained yet. And then you
He
see
was just
how
going.
you see how bad he was in it. He was strong, but that was it.
Yeah, exactly.
He was clumsy, but I was surprised at how poorly it held up to the Agui. Like,
Yeah, scratched up pretty
he
easily.
was trained, and he freaked out fast, and I didn't think he was gonna get that beat up.
He turned around so quick.
Oh fuck!
Did anybody recognize the actor in the suit?
No.
I had to go back. I don't remember his name. He's a comedian, so he's been in a lot of things. I don't have my full name anymore. Look up the actor for Titus. His name's Titus.
Yeah.
Night Titus, yeah.
Yeah, Night Titus. I forget his name, but he's a very actually famous comedian that I did not put two and two together until the second watch through, and I'm like, that guy looks really familiar. Where do I know him? He's been in so many video games and movies and comedy shows.
I was distracted by him being such a
I want to say his name starts with an R.
Make sure your alarm doesn't go off while he looks that up. I'm gonna grab.
That guy right there.
Oh, it was. It's Rappaport.
That's it.
It's Michael Rappaport.
That didn't help me at all.
He's a big comedian.
Comedian, podcast. Oh, man.
I'm trying to think of what we would know him from besides video game voices. He does a lot of video game voices. He was in, I thought, some kind of kids show. I think that was on Disney or something. Maybe not. I just know him from comedian.
Did you ever watch Atypical on Netflix?
No.
No? Okay. Because that one, good show, by the way. I'm trying to see if there's anything that I can try to...
Yeah, just start listing them out.
Well, no, I don't think they would know. Because some of them were just cameos.
You only know him from cameos and other stuff.
I don't really watch many movies and whatnot.
He's
He's in a lot of stuff.
He's in a lot of stuff.
I'll see him next time and be like, hey, that's the guy from Fallout, though.
Well, that's me with Lucy's brother. So Lucy's brother, I keep calling him Bonzo. If you watched Ender's Game.
Yeah.
So
Moises Arias.
Yeah, Moises Arias is in Ender's Game, and the character's name is Bonzo in Ender's Game. That's just where I know him.
Rico. Hannah Montana.
Yep.
Huh? Not
Who's
Disney, got it.
I was too old for Hannah Montana.
That shows my age.
Yeah.
That really shows my age. I'd like to say he was in another
He's
ABC
actually
show.
been in quite a few things too. So really, a lot of famous actors are actually playing and casting like side roles, which is interesting to see.
My mother brought him because she watches like everything. Like she watches absolutely everything. She is a TV show addict. But she brought up the Ghoul. His actor has been in a ton of stuff, and she brought up it's very weird. He keeps getting cast
He
in
was in
roles where he
Nacho
doesn't
Libre.
have a nose.
Yeah.
This is not the first time he's played a character that doesn't have a nose, apparently.
He was in Nacho Libre.
Who?
Moises?
Moises? Oh. That's a funny one. But yeah, a lot of famous actors that people don't realize until they see the face, and they're like, where do I know that person from? And then you get to looking at it, and you're like, oh, okay. What else? Yeah, I think back to the gun. I think it has the thing that reminds me of is like a Gauss cannon from the game, but it's a pistol, not like this.
No?
I've seen that guy's face. I didn't
Yeah.
recognize him in the power armor, but I have seen that guy in something else.
Same.
TikTok. Ma, why is your cat on the roof?
No, but that was. I will look up that.
It's,
We're gonna come back and we're like, yeah, next episode we know who he is
I
now.
Yeah.
flipped him off.
That's where we know him from.
But I've definitely seen him in stuff before. But did not look the same in the power armor to me now.
No, And
No,
that's
it's-
me too. I didn't catch it the first time. I only caught it the second time watching it. And then I was like, oh, okay, there we go. Oh, we're getting to Philly. The dog gets stabbed.
Yeah.
I cried a little bit. I teared up.
Yeah, I
That's
freaked
right,
out
he
on
did
that. I
get
was like,
stabbed.
no.
But then he saves the dog.
Yeah, the ghoul stemmed the dog, so we're good.
yeah, the ghoul has a heart.
New dog, who dis?
Wait, Was it this episode? We see a lot. How much did we see in his past? I don't remember.
No.
What we saw
The
in his
goal's like
past.
nothing in his past.
Nothing in his past.
Nothing.
No,
Okay.
it's you guys are in for a treat.
Ooh.
But yeah,
Yeah, they go in a lot in his past, which a lot of the story is told through his past, which is kind of nice.
That's cool.
so we thought it would revolve around Lucy. Not so much.
Yeah, I think this is one thing they do really, really good, I think, in the entire series is that it's pretty straightforward. I don't think the series itself has a very, like, point where there's, like, a big dramatic, like, reveal of anything. Because they do a good job at building up to the reveals, which you see coming probably an episode or two beforehand. But I think one of the biggest reveals is the Ghoul's backstory. So you get a lot of his backstory just sparsely over each episode. So that's why I'm gonna have to keep asking, like, how much of his backstory we get, because we get a little bit of his backstory each episode, and it tells more and more about what's going on.
About who he is, what he's about. It's
cool.
I kind of wish we had gotten more of that this episode, because this episode, we're talking through each point, and there really was only a few big things. We got scientist backstory. We got
the intro to Philly. The
we
fight in
got
Philly.
the fight with the bear. We got Maximus getting his power armor, which seems really big, and then we got the intro to Philly, and it's
Well, we also get, like, the backstory of why everything's happening too, and it's not very well set out. But the scientist y'all have already mentioned is very important.
Wilzik.
And he's Will's, yeah.
parts of him.
Willzik. He's a very key role of why everything's happening. And so you get the backstory in the start of the story for the overarching.
His research in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed really important. All of that was happening. It just, I think, coming from episode 1 where we had such distinct storylines starting with everybody, this one felt like less happened because we had less distinct moments.
I feel like if y'all played Dragon Age at all, you played Origins.
No, I only played a little bit of Inquisition.
So episode 1 was very much, here's all the backstory, here's all the characters. Episode 2 is really, here's the start of the story. And so, like, you could feasibly watch from episode 2 on and get everything.
Episode 2 seemed, like we said, there wasn't a ton, like an hour worth, I would say, but it seemed very Fallout.
Yes.
Like, people that don't know the franchise at all would probably think it's a boring episode. We saw a lot of little things that were cool and just more of the world.
See, I would argue this the inverse. And, like, the only reason I enjoyed it was because I knew Fallout. So, like, if I was just judging based off the narrative and the story being told, I think it's a very bland story. I don't think there's anything really good about it. It's about, like, the same that goes for the games. Like, the main story in the games is, I'll be honest, maybe a 4 out of 10, a 5 out of 10.
It's really the side quests that carry on the game majority of the time.
Yeah.
The side quests, the random encounters in the world, the fact that the world feels alive in the games is what really draws you in. But the main story itself, it's always go find this guy. I know I complained about it last episode. Go find the guy. And I'm like,
He's dead. Oh, find this guy. He's also dead.
76, yeah.
Where's my son?
Oh wait, my son's the guy doing all the bad things.
My boy, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then which faction you choose to team with.
Which I will say though, from a Fallout, I like this side of the Brotherhood. I like the asshole Brotherhood. I don't like the DC Lions Pride help everybody Brotherhood. I very much enjoy the cult Brotherhood. It's very much an occult. And I think
Worse than the Raiders.
yeah, no, they are 1,000% worse than the Raiders. And I like that they're staying true to their story and their homage, and also giving a little bit more of the background of the Brotherhood.
Now, was it this episode where they show repairs or no?
No.
Do
So
you agree
the-
with what Maximus did then?
Yeah.
Or didn't do, I guess?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, 100%. Actually, the core of the Brotherhood is you serve the Brotherhood. If you run away, you've forsaken all of your oaths and vows.
He also started complaining about the stuff that he was being sent to do. Like, it was just a toaster oven. It's like, okay, but that was you're supposed to care about it.
Like your job in the Brotherhood is to follow through with all the missions because you are doing it with honor. Instead, it shows flashbacks for Maximus coming out of a fridge, I think, and it's a knight in a power armor, so that's what causes him to join the Brotherhood. Yep. And the fact that there's a few more flashbacks that happen that show why Maximus was like, no, you don't deserve to be in that power armor, you're not worthy to be in it. So he did take the authority upon himself to put himself into it, but at the same time, like, he wasn't ready.
I don't know what other option he had either, because he was told, oh yeah, you know what they're gonna do to you? We're gonna string you up by your lungs and kill you and everything. And then the guy's next threat was, I'll kill you for this. And it's like, you've already said that. You're not threatening him at all.
Like, you're already dying out as it is. Like,
said
what are you gonna do? Get up?
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole interaction was, and the fact that he randomly wanted to get dropped off so he could just shoot something, like, that doesn't to me say Brotherhood either, because you're abandoning the mission to go do your own self-interest.
I thought at first he was doing it to take Maximus out and test him, because there's that part where he's like, no, you go in there and see if they're there. You earn it through acts of bravery. This would be brave. And then he just gets surprised by a bear and keeps yelling bear, which also surprised me because he just yells bear.
Yeah.
Instead of like Yagwai, and it's just bear. And it's like, oh, okay, that's not what these are usually called, but cool.
I would love if we get later more of who he was, why. Maybe he was a vault dweller. Maybe he come from a vault. Maybe he come from, like, maybe he grew up in the Brotherhood and was taught, like, what everything was, but they're working off of, like, they work off of old tech, so maybe it was, like, documents about bears, not what they're called nowadays in live experience.
Yeah. I was giving him the benefit of the doubt. I was like, oh, he's doing this to train. Like, this is their bonding and their, like, building of this. And then, no, he just immediately proved that wrong.
Yeah. How did we like Maximus stopping the two men from fighting?
He was gonna rip his entire skull off.
Yeah, I thought he didn't have enough control or something. When they first started yelling, when the guy was yelling, I thought that rock he kicked collapsed that building onto someone, and I was like, oh no, what have you done?
Oh, we're just talking about the chicken coop scene.
The chickens.
Yeah, no, just chickens.
Just chickens. More chickens in Fallout.
Those poor chickens.
We've got more chickens, and now we know what they're used for.
Cousins and chickens, man. This show.
It was so fine, and then he said the reason, and it was just carry on.
Carry on.
What do I do?
Like, literally that pause.
It was very much an awkward pause, which was kind of funny. I wanted to bring that up because nobody mentioned it yet. But yeah,
that was a funny part that kind of went over my head.
Yeah, it was really random too. But I think that sets up to like what happens in Philly, because then he enters Philly and he's still trying to be like this noble, like, save everybody person.
Oh, the salesman?
No, Maximus he arrived in Philly and is just trying to save everybody.
Oh, that's right.
That's why he starts fighting the ghoul, because the ghoul is shooting at the other person. And then, like, Lucy shooting the ghoul, and he's like, that's a very small drop in a very big bucket of drugs. And it's just the way he said it was like, yeah.
Which probably helped him anyways.
Really, yeah. Probably did.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, that's about all that really happened in the episode.
I mean, besides wandering out into the desert again to then just end like, hey, I can't make it any further.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Well, he drops some knowledge there too, where it was just like, why do you know her name? He's like, oh, I took the pill to make it easier for you, and then called her by name, and I'm like, you undid all of the work, because now you just threw her completely off before she has to.
Yeah.
As he's bleeding out,
you.
like,
I think
are you sure, Lucy? How do you know my name? I never said my name.
Well, he knows the vault. like
Yeah.
very well. And if her dad was the overseer, maybe that lion has always been the overseer for that vault.
Maybe so. It was just always.
Yeah.
And I'll leave you with this. Unfortunately, we don't get much more about him at all.
I feel like we should get way more about him.
Like, they don't tell you why he knew her name or why he knew all that he knew. Like, it's very much left up in the air.
I have a theory, but I'm not going to talk about it until next time.
Fair enough.
I actually know why.
I think I have a good reason why, but for where I'm at right now,
And even I pieced the puzzles together. They don't say it. Like, they don't say why. It's just me inferring on some things that they've
set.
said. Yeah. So yeah, a lot more questions, not a lot of answers overall for the episode. I'll be honest, if I wasn't a Fallout fan, this episode I probably wouldn't have watched it anymore.
Yeah. I didn't have much if you weren't a Fallout fan.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard very mixed things. Even non-Fallout fans I've gotten to that I've convinced to watch the show said they loved it. Not this episode in general, but they loved the
show.
series.
That was actually so like Hyro. We're doing the X-Men watch there, and he specifically was like, I do not care about Fallout. I do not want to be on the episodes about Fallout because he's never played the games. He wasn't interested in the show. And now he's like, I love the show. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm glad you like it. Then he was like, should I play the games? And I'm just keep trying to tell him politely. I'm like, Hyro, I know you, buddy. You will not enjoy the games. And everybody, like...
He's a multiplayer FPS in Rocket League. He cannot play a solo player game.
And if you're watching the episode, you've never played the games, do not play 1 or 2 or Tactics. You will not like them unless you very old, like 90s
Style games.
text-based style games. It is very punishing. It does not hold your hand. It is honestly not a game that's fun. Go watch a video of somebody playing it. You'll
Or a
enjoy
speed
it.
run.
Or don't.
Yeah.
They're rough. They're
If you
really
are
rough.
planning on playing the games, I either recommend New Vegas, 4, or if you're just getting into it and you have people to play with, 76.
Yeah.
76 is actually not bad. People just, in the beginning, just wanted to hate on it.
See, my favorite's 3. And, like, 3 is my favorite just because that's where I started. It's also got Liam Neeson in it as your dad. And I
That's
love
right. It does have Liam Neeson.
But if you plan on playing 3, good luck playing on new computers. It crashes all the time on modern day computers. Get you like a 360 or a PS3 and play it on there if you've still got one. Probably the best place to play it unless they announce like a remastered soon, hopefully.
Well, they just made a 4 on next gen.
Yeah. So yeah, I would honestly just advise all the new people to start with.
Well,
New
no,
Vegas
even if you
before.
have a newer Xbox, it's
Oh,
on
it's
Game
still-
Pass.
Yeah, if you got an Xbox, you can play it.
Or it has backwards compatibility. So if you could find the copy of the game, or you have Game Pass.
I guess my whole point is don't play it on PC. 3 crashes on PC all the time. I shot a mini nuke and it crashed my whole PC. I have a $6,000 computer that handles anything max settings. Fallout 3 crashed it with a single nuke.
I didn't have too much trouble because I was playing it on Game Pass through PC, but trying to figure out the resolution settings properly on that game is weird.
Yeah, no, that's the worst.
It's a little.
I recommend if you're gonna do that, xCloud instead, because it is on xCloud. So don't go through. Yeah, it's a weird one.
Yeah. Don't worry about playing 3. All you do is you find your dad.
That's the end of the game.
That's the end of the game. That's really it. I mean,
Anyways, that's my favorite.
and you can honestly beat the main story in 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
Like, if you do the main story straight. Again, Fallout is just all about taking the time and finding all the little things.
And getting distracted.
Yeah, I do get distracted a lot.
It's a lot of exploration.
That's why I liked 4, especially going into a Nuka World.
Yeah, Nuka World.
Nuka World just had so many like side zones to discover.
Some of the DLCs for that game had okay storyline. I liked the Far Harbor DLC.
Far Harbor was
I
great.
thought that one was good.
It's also where we got the cannon launcher.
No.
No.
Junk Launcher came from 3, Fallout 3. I'm not sure if it was in 1 or 2, because again, I haven't played 1 or 2. I've been trying to play them. I actually enjoy games like that. I don't mind it. I just don't have the time to play it. And so I've played maybe 3 hours of Fallout 1, and I'll eventually play it all the way through. But yeah, the Junk Launcher is in Fallout 3 for sure. Anybody else? Any closing remarks? ratings of the story, I'm gonna be very hypercritical. I'll be the bad guy and give it like a 3 out of 10. I don't think it was that great.
For this episode?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just, I don't know, the pacing felt completely different than episode 1. And I liked the pacing on episode 1 more. You guys talked about some of the CGI looked really weird. There was some weird inconsistencies too. Like near the end when he's walking with his new, what was it? Jim's limb's leg.
Yeah.
The amount of blood on that leg, they did zoom in shots on it multiple times, and man, he went from like, oh, there's quite a bit, like there's some blood, to he bled out in like 1 minute.
Oh, that's something else. So, do you remember in the beginning of the episode when the dog bit the one scientist to protect?
Yeah.
The dog had no blood in its mouth. But then he pulls his hand back and his hand's covered in blood.
It's just so much blood. Yeah, we rewound because he was looking at it and I was like, what did the dog put something in his hand? And we were just like, no, it was just blood.
We gotta
Okay.
go back.
But like the dog's mouth had no blood on the tongue or anything. So I looked and I'm like, huh, that's weird. Oh well.
I brought you this blood, blah, and didn't keep it for himself.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
just another inconsistency that I don't get why they have this many inconsistencies with it.
It seems almost rushed, but I don't know why it would be.
Yeah. Same. I really hope season 2 they slow down a little bit more with some of the pacing. Because, yeah, the pacing is just very... I don't think... Honestly, I'm sorry to say this. I don't think it gets better as the season goes on with pacing. Like, this is the pacing they keep for the rest. And it seems to jump everywhere and nowhere all at the same time, which is irritating.
I liked the store. What was it? Mama June's or
Yeah.
whatever.
Mhm.
I really liked that. I really
love their
liked her character.
dynamic.
Yeah, they were great. I want to be wasteland friends with these two.
Yeah. They definitely have a dynamic that's very Fallout, and it's those dynamics in the show that make it enjoyable. Like the show itself is, but seeing the interactions and again, it's what Bethesda and Fallout do really great. It's everything else that's just absolutely phenomenal, and then the main story is just don't give it
There.
to us. I don't know how they managed to get that in show format. They did a really good job of getting that in show format. Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah.
So ratings.
4, 4.5.
I'm at like a 3.5, 4 as well. I just, for this episode 1, way higher. This episode kind of dropped off.
Probably go like a 4.5, almost. Maybe pushing a 5, just because the fight scene was entertaining.
Yeah.
But after that, it kind of just,
I liked
like
parts
the
of
show
it.
title, it just kind of falls out.
And there's little bits and pieces I like. And I will say for the whole series, I like the pre-war parts a lot better than the Wasteland parts.
That's the part I'm most excited for because through the games we've seen so much of the wasteland parts.
Yeah.
I want to see the pre-war.
There's a lot of implications to the pre-war parts that there's been speculations like what happened, so it's nice to get confirmation of speculations. And so that way I don't ruin it for y'all because there's been different speculations, so I won't say which ones are true, but they do actually confirm a lot of what happened before the war, which is super, super nice as Fallout fans. So we've got canon, because they've already said this show is canon. We've got canon on how the war, what happened before, so it's nice. Yeah.
Nice.
Excited for what's to come.
All right, guys. Until next time, that's been it. Well, actually, what was your rating? We didn't get your rating.
I said 4.5.
You said 4.5?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we all said around 4.5. So yeah, that's been it. We'll see you in the next one. This has been Fight.
Vasquez.
Panda.
And Squid.
Bye.